poppin', everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Zach Lesage here. Today we're going to be covering over Ancient Box, one of my newfound favorite decks, and a deck that brought me to Day 2 at the North American International Championships. I finished in the top 128 of nearly 3,000 competitors, so this deck I think it kind of has the power to go very far in a tournament. I felt like I got a little bit unlucky Day 2, and I could have even gone further. I've upgraded my list since NAIC, so I'm incredibly excited to show you what this deck is, how it plays out, and more in this video for the Shuffle Squad. If you haven't already, give this video a like, share, subscribe, and let's jump into this list. So here you have it, my new and improved Ancient Box deck. Now, there's a lot of questions that you might have immediately off the hop. Our goal is to attack with Roaring Moon. We're using Vengeance Fletching every single turn if possible. Sure, there might be some uses for Flutter Mane. Sure, there might be uses for Great Tusk. But the biggest question you might be asking me is, why are we going from the Koraidon that I played at NAIC to Walking Wake, a Pokemon that can attack? Well, Koraidon is not the best attacker. And I mean, I had some success attacking with it at NAIC against Gardevoir decks, Lost in Box decks. Heck, I mean, even I was doing some slight damage against Raging Bolt decks. It was okay when it was okay. The biggest thing is we can gain space in a deck list, and that's something that we shouldn't be overlooking. Sure, something might be fine, but if we can make it fine and then gain a space in our deck, that's kind of a plus. So when it comes to management of our deck list in general, we can cut the fighting energy that we had reserved for that Pokemon, and then that gives us the space necessary to really change the way that we play this deck up. I went through a little bit more of a technical approach with Secret Box, something that I also played at NAIC, other than Awakening Drum, because you're going to knock out the Pokemon you want to knock out in one hit anyways, or you're going to two-shot them. The plus 10 damage is not going to matter that much when it comes to Awakening Drum, and those Secret Box turns are quite often going to be like plus 70 damage turns. Munkidori is the coolest card that I added into this deck, giving us the opportunity to take Gardevoir's splash damage from Flutter Mane or their Munkidori chip damage and send it back to our opponent's Pokemon, maybe even getting an extra prize in the process. A lot of really cool things going on here. Traditionally, I'd go for a strategy or like showcase what the cards are. We're literally pitching ancient cards and we're using Vengeance Fletching. We're going to be using our supporters to support that. And yeah, we can maybe use Great Tusk to mill our opponent if they're going down to less than 4 cards in their deck, and we can meet the requirements. Other than that, we are using Vengeance Fletching. Walking Wake is literally there as a single prize card Pokemon that can retreat if we start with it. Otherwise, that card is getting pitched from our hands. Let's jump into some gameplay, see exactly what's going on. If you want to copy and paste this list, it's going to be right in the description, copy and pastable. So check that out. Need any cards? Check out Kayfabe. Check out PTCGL store. Let's jump into that gameplay. Okay, so we're going to call a coin flip, and hopefully we flip heads because we called heads. And we got tails. We want to go second with this deck. Really just so that we can get a supporter on our first turn. We have opportunities to get out multiple Pokemon. We don't need to have a super productive turn 1. We'll see whatever our opponent does. A lot of decks just kind of want to go first in this format. Hopefully our opponent just goes first. They're thinking about it. See whatever our opponent decides to do here. Not like the most like productive turn. Okay, so they're gonna go first. That's cool. And like, this is one of those things where like, I don't want to start with Walking Wake. I just want to start with Flutter Mane if possible. Like, Flutter Mane has some purpose with Midnight Fluttering. Maybe our opponent just doesn't really get much going on because of this. Maybe they're playing a Lost in Box deck. Maybe they're playing a Lugia deck, right? Like, we could put some pressure onto our opponent with Flutter Mane. It's like an okay starter, and Ancient Box doesn't have to necessarily be perfect. So our opponent's getting set up here. We'll see. Maybe they're playing Chen Pao. Think Chen Pao is interesting. If they are doing that, we might be able to shut down one of their abilities that they have in the active. Radiant Greninja, Excalibur, Chen Pao. Like, there's some opportunities there. Okay. So we're waiting on our opponent. They started with Frigibax. Not really much that we could shut down, but maybe we could apply some pressure with Hex Hurl. If we're able to attach an energy on there. Okay, sweet. And looks like they're playing some kind of interesting Baxcalibur deck. I'm honestly not sure what's going on there. But let's kind of go into our options here. It doesn't really matter what we're playing against. Let's just kind of go into what we can do. Starting our turn off, we want to go ahead and grab a Nest Ball. We want a Nest Ball, and I think what I want to go for is realizing that I have double Roaring Moon prize. Really sucks. But I'm going to go Roaring Moon here. One thing is Ancient Booster Energy Capsule is not really going to be a card that we play down too much, unless of course we really need the extra HP. Can't really go for Sada's Vitality, so let's go for Explorer's Guidance. I think Earthen Vessel is definitely a card that we want to go for. Earthen Vessel Sada's Vitality. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's pitch away the Walking Wake. Not really the most important card of all time. And I think here I just want to go Dark Energy goes on Flutter Mane, just so I could potentially attack next turn. Otherwise, I know I can attack with the Roaring Moon next turn. Don't want to play anything else down. Don't really want to go for Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. I think we're probably okay here. Fingers crossed. It's one of those things where you can only really hope. But I will put the energy there because not only do I get the opportunity to retreat, I have the opportunity to attack with Hex Hurl. So that's the way that I would go against almost any single matchup, regardless I'm sitting in front of a League Battle deck or something. Maybe this is a deck that I haven't seen before. You want to know what? The other day I played against a Munkidori Articuno deck that looked kind of weird until I realized it was a complete lock deck. Not sure what they're going to do here with Rain Splash or Bill's Transfer. Like, there's certainly some interesting cards, but let's looks like it's like a kind of a watery deck. But we will do our best here. We can't get the knockout on this Pokemon, so this is where I'd probably promote the Roaring Moon if we possibly can get a knockout. And I think that's what I'm going to do. In this case, like, it's usually better, like, in sequencing to play a supporter, then retreat something you might want to do towards the end of your turn. We can maximize our energies here and just get an extra energy in play. So I am going to retreat. I am going to use Professor Sada's Vitality, getting an energy on both, so basically saving an energy in play. Right now we have, you can see what Vengeance Fletching is doing online. It's doing 130. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and pitch away a, I either want to pitch away a Flutter Mane or I want to pitch away a Dark Energy. Not sure which one I want to do because I could get Professor Sada's Vitality. You want to know what? I think what I'm going to do is actually just pitch away the Dark here because I might find other cards that allow me to get it. Just so I can grab Dark Energies there for the sake that my hand kind of sucks right now. I am going to go Ancient Booster on this Pokemon just because it can maybe take a hit from Chen Pao. Let's go Dark Energy goes here, and I'm going to take my first prize card. So even though our opponent's not doing anything crazy, I'm doing pretty okay. There's our other Roaring Moon. So we can use that energy that we pitched to start powering it up, get another Professor Sada's in our discard pile. And, like, right now, like, maybe we can knock out that Chen Pao next turn. We could also two-shot that Chen Pao. I'm feeling kind of okay about this. It doesn't really matter what kind of deck is throwing it. Like, we could just be playing against a normal Chen Pao deck right now. And, like, they have some interesting techs, but, like, whatever. We'll kind of play with whatever our thing is thrown up at. If it's possible, I'd like to use Boss's Orders, knock this out. If that's not possible, I think it would be really cool to just knock out Chen Pao. Like, so let's go with, like, potentially what our goal could mean this turn. Like, 140, I need to get 8 more in our discard pile. So first and foremost, let's thin our deck. Let's go ahead and go Artazon. That Calamitous Snowy Mountain's not going to help us. Let's go ahead and grab our other Roaring Moon here. They did put damage on us, actually. So you want to what I might go for here is instead of going for another Roaring Moon, I might just go for Munkidori so I could actually have less cards. Let's go Munkidori. Let's go Nest Ball, searching our deck for our Radiant Greninja. So you can see how this might play out. I'm not going to attach the energy to Munkidori until I feel like it. We're going to thin out our deck a little bit more, going Dark. And right now we're doing 160, 180. We need 4 more. So not like super crazy chances, but we could get there. Okay, we are not getting there. That's completely fine. But maybe if they do any kind of damage to us next turn, we might be able to get them with Munkidori. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to attach an energy from... I'm not sure what I want to do here. I'm going to put this other Roaring Moon down. I think I'm just going to attack... I don't know if I want to put the energy on Munkidori. I think I'm going to put an energy here just in case our opponent pops off. So Munkidori could have been the sauce had we got like an Explorer's Guidance. We could have got a Professor Sada's Vitality. Like, we could have gone there. And it's like, it's just little things like this where you get an attack that does 20, or against a Gardevoir deck that also plays Munkidori that's trying to knock out a Flutter Mane, or maybe they have a highly damaged Pokemon. Like, this is our Kieran, this is our extra damage outputs. Munkidori just being incredibly strong in any deck that can kind of play Darkness Energies. And considering Gardevoir is arguably the best deck in format, Munkidori can be quite strong against here. So our opponent, like nowadays, like this turn, it looks like they're really playing a traditional kind of Roaring Moon, a Chen Pao deck. That's completely fine. It is what it is. We'll see however it plays out for us. They got like the rare candy backs. They have all the pieces necessary. Like, it is what it is. But I'm glad I put the energy on the Roaring Moon now that our opponent can get a knockout on us. Like, that seems relatively fine. I might actually attack with the Flutter Mane in the active because I have an opportunity to knock out their Magikarp as well. Potentially. I mean, I guess I don't with Munkidori. I guess I have to attach an energy there for my turn. But there is, like, worlds where, like, placing damage counters on our opponent's Pokemon with Flutter Mane and Munkidori, that there's some synergy there. See whatever our opponent decides to do. They have a lot of energies here that they can pitch off from play. They have to pitch off 4. That does increase our damage output a little bit. I think I'm going to send up... it's actually really tough to decide who I want to set up. Do I want to have an energy for the rest of the game on one of our Pokemon? I mean, I guess no matter what, I'm getting the knockout with Roaring Moon. It would be better to get the attack with Flutter Mane, but, like, if we get it, we get it. It's fine. We got a Penny. Not at all upset about that. Penny could be helpful in a couple ways, but I really just want to try to get into something with concealed cards. We can't really go for concealed cards here at this point, and the reason why we can't go for concealed cards is because we don't know if we're going to draw into another energy. You can't leave yourself like, oh, I might not get an attack against my opponent's Pokemon just because. So in this case, like, we're probably going to... We drew a prize card, so we should have another Roaring Moon in here because we prized 2, I believe. Yep, so I'm correct there. Let's grab our other Roaring Moon. Let's not play Super Rod yet. Let's go ahead and attach a Darkness Energy here. And I guess, like, one cool thing that I could do, I could go Penny onto our Flutter Mane to give ourselves some more opportunities. So let's Penny up the Flutter Mane. Let's use our Radiant Greninja. We could have done this before attaching our energy to see if we can get, like, a Professor Sada's or something else. Not necessarily, like, the greatest hand there. We do have all of our energies available, so I am just going to go Super Rod, getting back 3 Darkness Energies. And I'm going to knock out our opponent's active. You have to understand when you're using Super Rod or Pal Pad that you could be reducing your ancient Pokemon's damage, so that is something to consider. So we draw 2 prize cards there. That's completely fine. We got Nest Ball, PokéStop. Maybe we can draw into a Secret Box, a Pokégear, an Earthen Vessel. Like, we have opportunities, and our opponent still has to knock this Roaring Moon out. So, again, not necessarily the most competitive matchup that I'm running against. Like, a Chen Pao Water Box deck is not what it is. In terms of how we're tackling it, we're always monitoring how many ancient Pokemon we have in our discard pile. We're always monitoring how we can manage our resources. And if our opponent does any chip damage, something like Munkidori could be kind of hot. We'll see whatever our opponent throws at us with this Arvin. Also, to anyone who's watching, I did record a second game kind of against more of a standard deck, showcasing a little bit more too. So there is going to be a second part in this video, as long as it goes through the process of editing. So hopefully that's something that everyone else enjoys. It's kind of hard sometimes to show games on PTCG Live.
Okay, so they got a couple Magikarps, some interesting stuff. They got Artazon. They're going to continuously go through with whatever. That's fine. And the Rocky Helmet's going to make it so that if we attack into them, if the Pokemon this card's attached to is in the active spot, and it's damaged by attacks to your opponent's Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. We would get instantly knocked out. Just throwing that out there. Nest Ball's not something I really want to do. There's not really much anything else that I can do except maybe attack. I think what I'm forced to do is unfortunately use PokéStop. I'll use Artazon first, just double check through our deck, see if there's anything there. And I mean, I'm not going to grab anything. There's nothing there that I want. I am just going to use PokéStop and PokéStop try to rip something off the top. We did get Super Rod. That's probably okay. We did lose a Professor Sada's. Like, you win some, you lose some. I am just going to use Ancient Booster Energy Capsule here, so I'm not getting knocked out by Rocky Helmet, so sometimes Ancient Booster Capsule matters. We're still swinging for 200 damage. Like, we're doing a lot. And you can see our opponent's, like, struggling to kind of get those numbers. Like, if it was a normal Chen Pao deck and our opponent was being a little bit more aggressive, we could definitely start knocking out their Pokemon. I think our opponent's in for a world of pain after this turn. Pokégear here might save our butts. In a world where, like, we can get, like, a Professor Sada's, we can start building up our board state again. And when it comes down to, like, when we get down to our second Super Rod, that's where I'm like, how many attackers do we have left for the rest of the game? How can we really make this happen? Pretty sure they're going to get Gyarados EX, and that might be a little bit scary. We'll see how it goes. Like, this is a matchup where we might actually just need a few energy. Like, we might need a few Roaring Moons to get through our opponent's active Pokemon. Like, they have 300 HP. And they can kind of, like, get a knockout on whatever they want. But we're already doing 200. I think since we have the Super Rod, I'm just going to go ahead here and grab this Roaring Moon. See what we can do. Before doing anything with our deck, like, I think there's a couple ways to look at it. We have 2 out of 21. We have a pretty good chance of just getting a Professor Sada's. I think I'm just going to go ahead and Pokégear it. If you don't think your odds are very great, like, you could use PokéStop. PokéStop might actually be better here because we could also hit Pal Pad, increasing our chance, or Secret Box, just instantly getting it. Of course, we just had to find... discard a Professor Sada's in that process, but we're going to go Pokégear here. We found an Explorer's Guidance. Before doing anything else, I think Explorer's Guidance is kind of our best bet. Explorer's Guidance, just going to grab a Pal Pad back and probably a Pokégear. I'm fine to get rid of the other cards too. We can see, like, what Vengeance Fletchling is doing for us. We're doing 250 right now. Before doing anything else, I think I'm going to go ahead and use Super Rod, probably just getting back Roaring Moon Dark. So I am just going to go ahead and do that. Roaring Moon Dark. Because we are, like, running pretty low on dark energies left on our board. So let's go ahead and do that. You can see Vengeance Fletchling's going to 250 now. We are going to go ahead discarding these two. We can always keep Great Tusk in the end, because that could be something that really matters for us. I don't think our opponent's going to play an Iono or anything on us, so I'm not going to, like, super worry. Like, we're back at 250. We're going to be at 2... We really need the energies to make sure that this could potentially happen. I'm just going to go ahead here and pass. I don't want to play down the other Nest Ball because we might need to get to 300 by knocking out our opponent's Pokemon with another Roaring Moon. So let's just go ahead here and pass. Like, we could use it as a plus 10 Ancients. They're not anywhere close to, like, getting knocked out with, or losing the game due to Lance Class, but, like, if you notice your opponent's getting quite low, like, sometimes they don't think about Great Tusk when they're trying to deal with a bunch of single prize card Pokemon. It should also be noted that this is we have one more Roaring Moon after that. We have to win the game with these 2 Roaring Moons, otherwise we are using something like Flutter Mane. So it could get gross. And, like, our opponent's now in one-shot range. We could maybe get Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. We have only played 2 so far. So we'll see how it goes. We're doing 230. Oh, they're only doing the 100 damage attack. Interesting. This is a very good turn for us. We might be able to get there. I think we're going to go Nest Ball. And I'm just going to grab the Ancient Booster, or the Roaring Moon. We're doing 230, 250, 260. Yeah, we have enough where we could potentially get there. So let's go ahead and grab that. We've thinned out our deck enough where with 3 Professor Sadas in a 13 card deck, Pokégear should definitely just hit this. Oh. We could have like maybe used Radiant Greninja first, but we're like really running low. I'm gonna go PokéStop and hope that I can get there. That was like bizarre. I think I almost have to use concealed cards to try to draw into this. So let's go Professor Sada's. Oh, like, well, I'll still attach the active because it makes the most sense. I just can't risk that maybe our opponent's not going to get there. We're doing 260. I think I actually get there this turn. So if I go Earthen Vessel away, that brings us to 280. I'm glad that I kind of played this out and thought it out in my head. There's also Superior that can get back energy, so like we have a whole bunch of like different ways. You can see we're hitting for 300. Like you could come up with insane turns out of nowhere. And Munkidori, if we had the opportunity, we could have got there. So there's Vengeance Fletchling. I literally cannot pronounce that name. Played it for 15 rounds in any IC, still put L's in there. But you are able to like steal games sometimes, just like through Radiant Greninja or playing a Secret Box. I know we didn't get to play Secret Box, but Secret Box can just like pitch your whole hand. Some really cool gameplay there, even though we got a bit of a dead hand. Sometimes you just gotta play out of it regardless of whatever deck you're playing against.
Ancient Box is really one of those more interesting decks. You're really gonna have to claw for those wins. Like, if you're given a game where you're able to accelerate energies, Ultra Ball, Secret Boxes, the deck is arguably one of the easiest decks to play. It's kind of like Chen Pao when it gives you a perfect hand, or anyone playing Charizard where you get Rare Candy, Pidgeot, Rare Candy Zard. Like, that's when Pokemon's at its easiest. I think of those games that I played very well, made some interesting decisions, and really was able to manage all of my resources, the amount of cards that I had in my discard pile, the amount of ancient, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where, like, you gotta watch over little things. You're cooking a Thanksgiving dinner, y'all, and you got everything on the stove. And whether you're 5 years old, you probably watch your mom make a Thanksgiving dinner, or you're like me and you trying to struggle and make the same kind of Thanksgiving dinner you had as a kid. It's not about Thanksgiving dinner, it's about Ancient Box. But I hope that you enjoyed learning a thing or two. Maybe you didn't. I will be going over a full comprehensive class of Ancient Box next week. So a week from this video, I will post it on our YouTube community, on my X account, on my Metafy account, and in my brand new Zach Lesage Discord. Check out my Twitter for all that great stuff, or X. I'm still getting used to all that change. That being said, I hope that everyone enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed my new Roaring Moon hat from NEIC. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of the content on the channel coming up soon. If you're looking for any summer coaching, I do have a great coaching deal. So check out my Metafy, learn a little bit more, get prepared for Shrouded Fables, Worlds, next season, whatever you got. And we'll catch up with all y'all real soon. Peace out and have a great one. Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.